Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. It's just Marco here once again, and I am here to actually do something that I've already done before, which I'm sure you guys would be more excited about than me reviewing something new, which I wish I could do, but when these things come out, you just, with these franchises, you just have to do these re-ranking videos. So as you guys know, Halloween Ends came out last week, no, 2 weeks ago. See, that's how far away it is from my mind now. And so I need to re-rank the series, and so I wanted to show you guys how different it is. Unfortunately, it does look a lot different, and I think it kind of reflects poorly on the series because you can see kind of a trend in terms of the order and the sequencing of everything. And another thing is, I didn't include this time any other versions of a movie. So I didn't include any director's cuts. I didn't include any producer's cuts. Sorry, it's hard to get used to saying producer's cut because it sounds so strange. As a kid I thought the only kind of other cut would be director's cuts. That's it. So, number 13 and last place is Halloween Ends. Which I'm sure isn't surprising. This movie, the sad thing is that it not only managed to disappoint me, even though I wasn't even excited and I knew it was going to be trash regardless, because these people have no idea what they're doing and they never deserved to have the rights to the Halloween franchise to begin with. And I knew that from the very fucking beginning. And this movie not only confirmed it, but the unfortunate part is that it actually made me not want to see really any Halloween movies anymore. Now I have less and less and less respect for the franchise. I hate the franchise now, actually, because when I think of the franchise now, I think, you got all these fanboys. They ruined the series once, they ruined the series twice, and you can kind of see that as a trend, where they did the first three, which were really good, and then the fanboys came in, and they did fucking part 4, which was like a fan film, and then the fanboys were there again, and they did part 5, and then the fanboys were there again, they did part 6, and it was like the fanboys affected every single movie to where now it's like a hollow shell of what it used to be. And this Halloween Ends, it was literally just plagiarizing Christine, but with Michael Myers in a really bad way. And this movie was horrible. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It was so bad that I will forever think of the Halloween series as the rest of the series and then the Blumhouse trilogy below all those, So number 12 is Halloween Kills. This movie is where you could start to see Jamie Lee Curtis's agendas, and you could start to see her her fingerprints on everything, the way that, she's had major surgery, and she's getting out of her hospital bed to give herself a power boost so that she can go join a mob of people to kill an innocent person for no reason. That was an embarrassment to the Halloween franchise. And then they brought in all these cameos, all these people who just, oh yeah, they were in the Halloween movies, so we're going to bring them back and pretend like it's for a reason. And it really wasn't for any reason at all other than fan service. And then they ruined Tommy with probably the worst casting in the entire series with Anthony Michael Hall. His version of Tommy is horrendous, and I was so happy when he got killed near the end because his character was such trash. And, ugh. And in general, that movie was just a lifeless, soulless piece of shit. And you could see more plagiarism, too, of like Halloween 4, all these different pieces of other Halloween movies that they claim to ignore. And then the movie ends with one of the most WTF Halloween movie endings in history, where, like, Michael is still alive, but there's a ghost of him in the window of the Myers house. It just, ugh. Number 11 is Halloween 2018. Just because this movie is at number 11 doesn't make it any less trash. You know, this movie, I am able to really see it based on this, that the future movies will be trash too. That's what I thought when I watched it. And so that's why this was so terrible for me, is because I could see through the bullshit. I could see through the fan service of, oh, look, there's Jamie Lee Curtis. There's Michael Myers. I could see through that and see all this blatant plagiarism and see this BS of how, like, people claimed that Michael in 2018, they claimed that he was the most brutal of the series, and yet in his movie, he doesn't even want to kill a baby. However, in Halloween 6, he the whole movie is about him wanting to kill a baby. And so right then and there, you know, that just completely debunks Michael Myers as the most brutal in Halloween 2018. Oh yeah, and then, you know, you got Laurie, and she's like the alcoholic, abusive, insane grandmother, weirdo, strong whammon stereotype. Ugh. This whole trilogy is just straight up trash. And just because this is the one that is the least trash out of the three, that doesn't make it good. You know, this movie was just a sign of what was yet to come. And I warned everyone. And I said, you know, I'm not going to go support this movie. I can see right through it. I can see what they're doing. I'm not going to go see it and support it. I'm just going to watch it on YouTube. And people supported it, and this is what they got. They got Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. Number 10 is Halloween 2, the remake. Now, this is the theatrical version. Let me tell you a story about this movie. When I was a kid, I saw the trailer for this movie, and I was really excited for it. And I asked my parents to go see it in theaters, and I didn't really press them a lot because I kind of started to just say, I could just watch it for free on this website that doesn't exist anymore called Surf the Channel. If you guys ever used to use that, I used to use that all the time as a kid. And so I watched it on there instead, and oh my God, I was so disappointed. And just the fact that even though I didn't see it in theaters, I was still disappointed watching it on Surf the Channel. It was one of the most disappointing, irritatingly bad movie experiences I've ever had. And it's just, it's like, what is this? That was my question watching it, was like, what, like, ugh. Because I was really excited for the movie based on the promise of what was in that first part, you know, where they had that really good opening where she's walking down the street and they had her in the hospital and that song playing over and over with the raining outside and Michael Myers with the axe, and oh, that was so awesome. And then they go, oh no, that's not going to be the movie. The movie is going to be crybaby Laurie going yeah 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 yeah, and then she's gonna I don't want to talk about this trash anymore. Ugh. I would like to talk about the director's cut though, because that movie's pretty good, and I put that in the top 3. Number 9 is Halloween H2O. You know, I used to really kind of like this movie, but I don't anymore at all. This is another instance of where I can see what they're doing. It's like Scream, but with Michael Myers. And I really don't like that. I don't think that that works. You know, Scream is Scream, and Halloween is Halloween. And this is why I said that Scream was bad for horror movies, because after they made Scream, all they did was try to make every other horror movie like Scream. And that's not what you do at all to make a good horror movie. I did like some stuff in this movie, though. I liked the opening with Joseph Gordon-Levitt getting killed. I really kind of like Michael Myers in this movie. I used to be Facebook friends with the guy who played him in this movie. I can't remember what happened with that. Because I don't know. That was weird. This is one of my favorite Michael Myers, though. You know, he's very fast and very, like, you know, this is a scary Michael Myers. Like, no matter the goofy moments, this feels like a Michael Myers that you would be scared to get into a encounter with. And the best thing about the movie, though, is really Laurie's character. And, you know, I don't like Laurie in part 1, 2, Resurrection, or the Blumhouse trilogy. I like Laurie in H2O, where she's like a teacher, and then she becomes strong by the end of the movie, and she learns to fight Michael, and then they have that amazing confrontation where she steals the ambulance, and then she fucking chops his head off. And I'll say this too, that's probably my favorite ending of any Halloween movie ever. Like, that was so awesome. So it's right there on the list. Number 8 is Halloween 6. This is obviously the theatrical version. This movie, it's very mean-spirited for a Halloween movie. You know, I think that that's another misunderstanding that people had as the franchise went on, is that they thought that the series was very mean-spirited, or it's supposed to be. And I really don't think that it is. Like, the first movie is not very mean-spirited at all. It's a very fun, like, horror movie that doesn't take itself too seriously. And it's just simple but effective. This film, it tries way too hard. And there are some good things about it. I appreciated what they were trying to do, tying everything together and trying to make some sort of a cool expansion on the mythology of the characters, but I really don't think that it worked. I did think the music was pretty good. There were some pretty good things. It's just this movie wasn't very good. It cut out all the good stuff. Like, the producer's cut is a million fucking times better. Like, if you want to watch Halloween 6, you watch the producer's cut. It's as simple as that. Number 7 is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. This is like a fan film, and it's just completely like fan service of like, hey, here's Michael Myers, here's Michael Myers, here's him just being a shadowy figure, and he's just like, he's in the darkness, and he's, I don't know how to describe it, but it just has a very fan film type of feel, to where, like, even the opening, like, just everything about it just screams like this is, it doesn't feel like something that needed to happen. Like Halloween 2 felt like it needed to happen. Even like Halloween 5 or Halloween 6 felt like they needed to happen. But this Halloween 4, where Michael Myers is just walking around and he's just. It's almost like a caricature in this movie where he's not even Michael Myers. He's like Michael Myers, the cartoon character. So I think that this movie, it does have some great stuff in it, though. I really do like Jamie. I love her character. I think she's awesome. I really liked the part near the end where they're in that house and it's like they're just waiting for Michael Myers to show up, and it's like the suspense of when is he going to show up, who is he going to kill. It was very, very scary. This is probably one of the scariest sequences in any Halloween film ever. And the thing with like the shotgun kill, that was so awesome. Definitely one of the best kills of the series. And then of course the ending is awesome. The fight on the truck and the truck chase. The one thing that I have to say, another thing why I don't like it, is I really don't like the sister Rachel. I don't like her at all. I don't like how she acts in this movie. I much prefer Tina in part 5. And so number 6 is Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Oh wait, number 6. Did I say 6? It's number 6. So 6 feels like the opposite of a fan film, where it's almost like they're intentionally doing like different stuff than they did in Halloween 4, which I think is good because it feels more refreshing. This movie is much more stylish and it's much more moody and atmospheric. And I really think that Michael Myers is scarier in this movie. And I love some of the kills. I loved in general what happens with Dr. Loomis, the way that he's crazy now. And he's gone crazy. And I much prefer that than him in part 4, where he's just like, I don't know, like part 4, like that scene in the gas station, with the explosion, that was not as good as part 5. I mean, I don't know, I've just always really loved part 5. Like, it's so underrated, and it's like, just because they killed off Rachel, that means people are going to be upset. The thing is that I watched this one before I watched part 4, so I went in not having those expectations of seeing Rachel the whole movie. And there are some stupid things about it. I kind of wish that they had stuck with her killing the mom in part 4 at the ending of that. If they had stuck with that, it would have been even better. And then the man with the trench coat and hat, I don't, that really was weird. I don't know what that was about. So that's number 6. Number 5 is Halloween Resurrection. This movie, it just gets better and better and better and better over time. Because when you realize that this movie is a parody and it's not supposed to be a serious Halloween movie, it's like a completely different perspective. And I really do think they did the best with a bad situation, too. The way that Jamie Lee Curtis, if you guys, sorry about that, I don't have any control over that background noise. Jamie Lee Curtis was supposed to be like the star, the hero of this movie. And she didn't want to because, she's full of herself. She's an egomaniac. She ruined the Halloween franchise just like Blumhouse did. And this was, a prime example of she didn't want to do that, so she forced them to kill her off. So they wouldn't have done that stupid thing with that opening part. She probably just would have escaped, and that would have been it. and it would have been like, oh, this is cool. She escaped the mental asylum, and now she's gonna fight him the rest of the movie. Like, that would have been awesome. And she prevented us from getting that because she is so full of herself. She doesn't even care about the Halloween franchise at all. She just cares about the attention that it gets her and the fame that it got her. And so they had to replace her with someone. And to me, I think that they made it a better parody by replacing her with Busta Rhymes, because he was fucking hilarious. He was the best part of the whole movie. He just, like, every scene that he's on screen is just like laugh out loud hilariousness. There's so many things that are genuinely good in the movie, though. The lighting, the atmosphere, some of the music, the characters in this movie are 1,000 times more likable than the majority of these characters in the sequels. Like, I'm sorry, but I will take any of the Resurrection characters over any of the characters in Halloween Ends. Any of them. You know, the token black sheriff, the grandson, Allison, aka Alex, Lori, the weird, like, egomaniac, pretentious Hallmark movie, monologuing weirdo. I will take any of these Resurrection characters over those. Number 4 is Halloween 3. This, I really like this movie a lot. I don't think it's the greatest thing ever like some people do, because once you think about it as the invasion of the Body Snatchers, it gets a little bit lesser and lesser as you think about it, because it's like, well, if I want to watch Invasion of the Body Snatchers, I'll go watch Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Like, that story is a better telling of this story. However, the music is really, really good. This is a very Halloween-y movie, too. Like, this is definitely something that would be great to watch on Halloween. And that's good because it's called Halloween. And there are just some really great things in this movie. There's some really great, intense sequences with inside the factory, him being tied up in the chair, and you hear the music from the first movie, and that scene is like one of the best scenes in the series, when he's got that skull mask on and he's tied up. Number 3 is Halloween, the Rob Zombie version. And I don't care. I don't care what people will say, because honestly, after thinking about it, this movie just gets better and better and better and better and better. It has everything that the new movies lack. Like, this movie has everything. It has blood, it has gore, it has great kills. I mean, I watched their behind-the-scenes documentary. It was very inspiring. As a kid, I would watch it and I would just be like, wow, these guys are really good at making movies. It's got great nudity, it's got great music, it's got everything that the new movies don't have. And it's got a better story, too. I mean, the original ideas in this movie are far better than any of the quote-unquote original ideas that the people had who made Halloween Ends. Like, I'm sorry, but I much prefer that sequence when young Michael is in the sanatorium with Dr. Loomis, and it's like a one-on-one conversation battle of, like, seeing this person turn into this monster who doesn't talk. Like, I much prefer that than that sequence in Halloween Ends where Corey says, "Hey Michael, I'm gonna need that," and then he goes over there and they have a wrestling match in the sewer. Fuck that shit. So number 2 is the original Halloween. This movie is, the best way to describe it is that it's simple but effective. If you kind of dissect the movie and think about it too much, it becomes trash. Like if you think about the knife kill where he sticks Bob to the wall, which would never happen because the knife isn't long enough to do that. If you think about that kind of stuff, this movie goes really downhill from there. But if you don't think about that stuff and you just have a fun time and you enjoy it, and it's really scary. Well, not really anymore for me, but it is really, really, the music is so good. It is so intense and stinging, and it's an otherworldly experience to watch this movie. However, I don't know. I'm kind of sick of watching it because I've seen it just so many times, honestly. Number 1 is Halloween 2, the original. This movie just feels like the first one, but better. It feels like the first one, but you're getting more of it. The kills are much better than in the first one. The story is much better. It's much more intense, knowing that Michael is Laurie's brother, and that's why he's after her, and he's going to come after her no matter what. And then that whole final sequence at the end where Michael gets shot, and then he falls down. He walks through the glass door, and he jumps up and he kills that one cop. And just like this movie is just so underrated. And it's weird because like this movie used to be overrated. Like all people would ever do is say Halloween 2, Halloween 2. That's the best one. Now, all people do is say that Halloween 2 is something that John Carpenter didn't want to do but was forced to do. So he wrote it while he was drunk on a 6-pack of beer. And it's like, I don't care if like John Carpenter didn't want to do the first movie. Like if you found out that John Carpenter didn't want to do Halloween, the first one, would that make you stop liking that movie? And I know obviously it was his idea and everything, but if you found that out and if that was a true thing, would you really care? No, of course not, because it's really kind of irrelevant. It's just kind of an excuse. It's like a marketing gimmick so that they can say, John Carpenter didn't want to do that one. He would have wanted to do something like this, even though he probably wouldn't have, done Halloween 2018 at all. So that's my ranking for the Halloween series. I'm really, really, it's sad because I used to hate the first Halloween remake as well. There are some really stupid things in the movie, but I really like it now. I really do. I think that it's just getting better and better over time. I think that all the original movies are getting better and better, and the newer ones, like Halloween Kills, are just getting worse and worse and worse. So please like this video and comment and tell me what you thought of this ranking, and then please subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more honest videos about the Halloween series. Goodbye everybody, see you soon.